If someone would have told me this information 10 years ago, my Olympic dreams would not have been shattered. This secret that was kept from me eventually changed my life, and from that moment on became my life mission, to share this information with others. But first, let me tell you more about myself. As a young girl, my dream was to be an Olympic freestyle skier. When I was 18 years old, however, my dream was taken away from me due to a back injury. It was the morning of U.S. ski team selections in Winter Park, Colorado, the most important ski race of the year. In the morning, all competitors have one final hour before the race to inspect and practice on the course. During this critical hour, I felt my back go. Well, in reality, I had been fighting back pain for months prior, but had basically ignored it up until this point. In the final minutes before the race, I went to the bottom of the course sobbing to my coach. He knew I was really injured, so he pulled me out of the competition that day. The next few months, I was committed to the allopathic medical system for recovery. I was flying to Seattle weekly to have injections in my spine under anesthesia. After this phase of injections did not work, I then flew to Los Angeles another 8 weeks in a row to have a stronger dosage of injections in my spine, again under anesthesia weekly. By the end of these treatments, my back had debilitated so much I had visual bruising from the shots that ended up lasting for 2 years after the treatment. I lost feeling in my lumbar nerves and experienced more pain and rigidity in the joints and muscles of my low back than you can possibly imagine. I couldn't stand without pain. I couldn't sit. I couldn't bend over. I couldn't work out. And I definitely couldn't ski. And that was that. I went from being on the U.S. ski team, on ESPN regularly, traveling the world for ski competitions, spending my summers in New Zealand for a double winter, being featured in Skiing Magazine as an upcoming Olympic hopeful athlete, to being a regular college freshman, not knowing what to major in. My Olympic dream passed before my eyes. I missed my window. A couple years later, I found chiropractic by accident. When I found chiropractic care, it absolutely changed the quality of my life. I decided to become a chiropractor and make it my life mission to share this information with others, so that no other little girl in the world who has an Olympic dream misses out on that Olympic dream like I did due to a preventable injury. Ladies, get ready. Today we are going to talk about fitness, function, and fabulosity, the chiropractic advantage for winning the game of life. So why would I make it my life mission to help other athletes increase their athletic potential through chiropractic care and postural correction? Well, simply put, chiropractic and postural spinal alignment is that powerful to give athletes the winning edge, and perhaps more importantly, extend their careers by enhancing the function of their body. Now that is a fabulous career path to be a part of. To know how we can improve athletic performance, we must first realize what athletic training currently is and how the majority of athletes train. Currently, only 21% of high-level competitive athletes utilize chiropractic care or functional postural correction as a part of their training protocol. Yes, I said or, one or the other. That means that 79% of athletes do absolutely nothing to keep their spine in proper alignment and do not have correct posture while training. These statistics are absolutely astonishing. This means that the sound majority of high-level athletes do not have proper function of their physiology. And if a majority of high-level athletes aren't emphasizing postural correction in their training protocols, certainly lower-level athletes must not be either, meaning they are more susceptible to injury before they even reach the point of becoming a high-level athlete. Demonstrate x-rays on the PowerPoint. Doctors, what do you see here? Even the doctors in the back of the room can see this pelvic unleveling, am I right? Now here's the leg length difference and the balance differential from right to left. Unsurprisingly, this patient presents with severe low back pain and localized over the SI joint, extreme right iliopsoas tension, rigidity of the left piriformis, and postural distortions throughout the rest of the spine. This perfect example of spinal misalignments was an Olympic hopeful athlete. This example is me. I want you all to keep this visual in mind for the next few minutes while I go through the rest of the information. First, athletes are only as strong as their weakest link. What actually happens to the body when there's a subluxation present? First, the mechanoreceptors and the proprioceptors in the feet, the hips, and the spine are absolutely vital in executing controlled movement of our postural muscles and balancing our bodies in space. Our postural muscles, as we know, are phasic muscles, not tonic. Their primary purpose is to hold the body upright against the ever-present force of gravity. So much of our posture is unconscious because our postural muscles, again, they're not phasic, they're phasic muscles, not contracting muscles. They are reliant on the information provided by the mechanoreceptors and the proprioceptors of the spine to provide accurate activation. However, when a patient has chronic low back pain, like I did, not only do they not move correctly, but also they do not balance their bodies correctly against gravity because the activation of the mechanoreceptors and proprioceptors are weakened and inadequate. Chronic low back pain patients rely more so on the vestibular and the visual systems for balance and coordination. You can easily test this on your patients by asking your patients to balance on one leg with their eyes closed. So at a cellular level, the mechanoreceptors and the proprioceptors are not firing accurately. And at a global level, this is causing postural imbalance patterns of the kinetic chain, which the athlete may or may not be consciously aware of. So now, our phasic non-contracting postural muscles are inadequately resisting gravity, therefore causing a disruption of movement patterns with the tonic or contracting muscles. Muscle contractions, as we know, are all or nothing. They either fire or they don't. When muscles are chronically injured, like typical chronic low back pain patients again, the injured muscles lose that contractibility. This then engages the activation of other surrounding muscles, resulting in a change in the kinetic chain and an overall shift of equilibrium of the body. And don't forget about the joints. Joints with more flexibility move first in the kinetic chain, which makes sense. When a spinal joint is subluxated, it has decreased range of motion. Thus, the joints above and below the fixed segment, the flexible joints, are being overutilized. Our bodies move in the ways we train it, the layman's term being muscle memory. With athletes, we often utilize the term muscle memory in a positive way, meaning the muscles are learning and becoming more natural in achieving a desired result. However, if athletes are determined to create muscle memory and the entire kinetic chain is firing improperly, is this actually beneficial? No. In fact, it is completely limiting their athletic potential. At the same time, what they don't realize is that they're also creating muscle amnesia for the injured muscles and joints that aren't being activated by the weakened mechano and proprioceptors. Refer back to original X-ray. Okay, doctors. Will the pill correct this structural alignment? How about injections? Surgery? Should I put a Band-Aid on it? No, right? Chiropractic adjustments are clearly an extremely effective way of changing these firing patterns. The adjustment removes the subluxation, activating weak joints that need stimulation to function. This changes the proprioceptive pattern of the kinetic chain to optimize movement of the athlete. To truly optimize athletic performance, the desired result should always be to increase function of the body. So here is me in proper alignment, a demonstration on PowerPoint. After being adjusted and doing my postural correction exercises. Look at my center of gravity here in these posture photos. Do you notice a change in the leg lengths? Yeah, right, it's huge. Do you think this positively affects my kinetic chain of movement? Absolutely. And overall, the tonic and phasic musculature is optimized. The postural muscles are firing with more precise proprioceptive input, and the tonic muscles are firing together in synchronous coupled motion, decreasing workload and muscle fatigability, which is highly optimal for athletes. Beyond the structural changes that are an evident side effect of chiropractic care and postural correction, the optimized precision and function of the body is the most important thing. The muscles and joints have increased fluidity of movement, and the function of the internal organs is optimized. I want to take a closer look at two functions in particular, the first being balance and the second being the respiratory capacity of the lungs. Research demonstrates that any deviation of the center of gravity from midline of the body will cause a shift in balance. The single best method for measuring balance ability in athletes is through the one-leg balance test. Athletes should be able to balance on one leg for 30 seconds with proper posture. If they are unable to do this test, the risk of falling during sport has just increased by 50%. As I mentioned earlier, 71% of athletes demonstrate postural abnormalities. Therefore, the far majority of elite athletes are not actually balancing their bodies properly in space. To increase balance and to help prevent injuries from falling, All athletes should implement the one-leg balance exercise for 30 seconds per leg 3 times per day into their training regimen. Proper posture increases balance and precision in sports activity and also improves the respiratory capacity of the athlete. Athletes who demonstrate a typical 21st century slouched posture with anterior head carriage, rounded shoulders, and increased thoracic curve have a decreased respiratory capacity of their lungs. Poor posture absolutely restricts the rise and fall of the breathing diaphragm. You've all tried this before. Roll your shoulders forward and take a deep breath in. Now open your shoulders and take a nice deep breath. There's an astounding increase in the ability of the athlete to breathe while performing exercise when they have proper posture with their shoulders back. And what is the easiest way to maintain the proper posture? Yeah, correct the alignment of the spine with chiropractic adjustments and strengthen the weak dorsal and posterior paraspinal muscles. It's pretty easy. The positive effects of chiropractic care and postural correction enhancing athletic performance is extremely evident. So why don't more athletes know about this information? Why do athletes continue to train with a decreased functional capacity of their body? If more athletes made posture and proper spinal alignment a priority in their training regimen, can you imagine how the level of athletic performance would increase? Imagine all of the almost Misty May trainers, the almost Peekaboo Streets, the almost Christy Yamaguchis, and the almost Carrie Straugs out there that fell short of their dreams. Imagine how this essentially missing component from athletics could change the game. Is this level of competition for athletes possible or just a dream? It's absolutely a dream. The combination of diet, rest, exercise, adjustments, and mental positivity to improve their performance. Fitness, function, fabulosity. The chiropractic advantage at winning the game of life. Okay, everybody stand up. Let's hit some quick fitness, function, fabulosity tips that you can implement with your athletes Monday morning in your office. First, find your good posture. Tuck your chin, aligning your ear and your shoulder. Roll the pelvis forward, contracting the core muscles. Feet forward and slightly apart. This is the posture that your athlete should be living in. Now roll your shoulders up with inspiration and back and down with expiration. Your shoulders are open, allowing proper functional capacity of the diaphragm. Now focus your breath to your diaphragm. Place one hand on your chest and one on your stomach. As you breathe in and out, the hand on the stomach should be moving and not the chest. This demonstrates proper diaphragmatic movement. Let's try it together. This is how you should be training your athletes to breathe. Okay, and now, if your outfit allows you to, please pull one leg up with your knee, hip, and ankle at 90 degrees. Hold here without breaking your fit posture. Your athletes should be doing this in 30-second intervals 3 times per day, with proper posture, of course. If they break form, it doesn't count. They should start by holding one or two. If they can't do it with proper posture, they should start by holding one hand or two hands against a wall if necessary. But what's more important is doing the movement than standing on one leg with proper posture. So those are some quick fitness, function, fabulosity tips you can implement on Monday to help your athletes optimize their athletic potential. You guys can all take your seats again. Thank you. I know that you all agree with me when I say chiropractic care and postural correction enhances athletic performance. You are not the people I'm trying to convince. What I am simply asking you to do is to share this information with as many athletes as you can. For me, my dream of being an Olympic skier was taken away because I wasn't getting adjusted. After discovering chiropractic, however, my life turned around completely. I refound my love for fitness. Just last July, I took 7th place in the IBFA Miss Universe Bikini Bodybuilding competition. I absolutely attribute my ability of accomplishing this to the consistent chiropractic care and postural rehabilitation that I do. Without it, I could never compete in bodybuilding. But is this all about me? No, absolutely not. It's about my ability to share this passion and knowledge with my patients here in Italy because they deserve to know the truth. So patients like Andrea Bertinelli can play baseball at his optimal potential. So Francesca Casella can continue to compete in jiu-jitsu. And so Brendan Leonard can prevent injuries and have a healthy, long rugby career. And it's about you, for each of you to inspire this message among the athletes in your community. Ask yourself, is chiropractic a profession or a calling? Help athletes raise their potential, keep them from falling. You were chosen to make a difference. This is your responsibility. Your hands have amazing healing capabilities. Chiropractic enhances fitness potential and function. So when you get to the junction, make the choice to be healthier yourself and inspire others. Don't just push them, be shovers. Make the choice to be healthier yourself. Chiropractic can change the world of athletics if you help spread it. We were given a sacred trust. To our founders, we are indebted. So tomorrow, inspire your community to be healthier than today. Show them that better way. Fitness, function, and fabulosity is where it's at. You're a woman in chiropractic. Never forget the responsibility of spreading that.